Here we are, a beautiful October day in Courchevel. The sun is out. I'm up by the Altiport. There's a dusting of snow on the mountains, and here is your Courchevel October update. Enjoy. Bienvenue and welcome to 150 Days of Winter. Hello. 7 screws, 1 plate. So probably the biggest news this month, this season, is that during the biannual stress test that the S3V give all their lifts, they appear to have stressed it slightly too much. As you can see behind me, the Saulire cable car is right royally.
If you are attached to another object by an inclined plane wrapped helically around an axis.
Screwed, I think that's the technical term. En panne, as they would say in French. So basically, this year, the Saulire cable car is not working. So if you want to be able to get to the top of the Saulire, the Vizelle bubble, the Suisse chairlift, or the Marmot's chairlift will take you up slightly below. If you want to go and ski the couloirs, if you have a Courchevel Valley Pass, you're going to have to walk, well, basically from where I am, which is the lowest point, from the Vizelle bubble all the way up to the top of where the Saulire is. And take it from me, I've just walked up there in normal shoes with no snow. You don't want to be doing that. So, yeah. Oopsie. If you have a 3 Valley Pass, you're going to have to ski down to the Folie Douce and take the Saulire Express bubble up in order to do the couloirs, which is good if you are in Mirabel, not so good if you are in Courchevel. In the words of Homer Simpson, DOH! From the Saulire to the wonderful Col de la Loze, overlooking Mirabel and the 3 valleys behind me. If you remember last year when we came up here, behind me you can see the new reservoir that was built last year. It was empty when the Tour de France came up here to finish. That was absolutely empty, and of course now you can see it is absolutely almost full to the brim. Of course that will be used for the new snow cannons, especially the new Eclipse piste, which again I skied last year, and anyone who would like the feeling of what the World Championship is going to look like, go and snowplow down that. You'll have a great time. Also, while I'm up here behind me, if of course you can't get over the Saulire, of course because the Saulire cable car is shut, an excellent alternative, if you ski down to Latania, you go down to the Dudelange. The Dudelange chair comes up here and you'll be able to ski all the way down a nice long path where the road is down to Mirabel, and it makes a nice alternative. So yeah, Col de la Loze, next stop, something else. In the shadow of the Saulire, behind me for the more observant of you, a couple of years ago, you will have remembered that I made Genepi, which is a mixture of alcohol and like a local mountain flower. The year after that, I went and made limoncello, thanks to some Amalfi lemons that were donated by a very kind Italian guy. Anyway, this year we're going to be making Mytilles, creme de Mytilles. We're going to be making Mytilles for the non-French speakers, that is blueberries or bilberries for the Americans. So, and of course my supermarket is right behind me. I have my rake here. Expect a video of people drinking that in probably about December. It takes a bit of time for it to get ready, I think. Anyway, So yes, let us get picking. So, some good news. About this time last year, the Eurostar decided to cancel all the snow trains coming up to the mountains, and of course everybody let out a sharp gasp, etc. It turns out that actually their analysts knew that the likelihood of the resorts being open was very little, and so actually them not running last year was not a great big deal. However, they will be running again this year, but not by Eurostar. Eurostar, the trains that run from St Pancras to Mytilles, M and Bourg-Saint-Maurice are being leased by a company called Compagnie des Alpes, which is an amalgamation of tourist offices in the region. So if you would like to buy a ticket for the Eurostar, which again is running, I think it's running once a week back and forth, there'll probably be a link down below to their website. If you go to Eurostar's website, you won't get anything. But anyway, that's pretty good news. Which of course brings us to a bit of bad news. And this one of course involves S3V. Now at the time of shooting this, and this is like I'd say about the 10th of October, I think it should be out either today or tomorrow. By the time the S3V still haven't announced whether they're doing Seasonnaire and residence pricing for the lift passes. Now, I'm sure most of the people watching this will say, well, how does that affect me? Well, it affects you indirectly. Let me explain. Say, for instance, let's pick ski instructors as an example. Prior to this, ski instructors would basically get their lift pass in exchange for community service, etc. Okay, now they'll have to pay 1,500 euros for a season. I can't imagine any ski instructor who's not going to increase his hourly rate so as to offset that increase, which is not good. Okay. Lifties, when they are not working, will have to pay for a lift pass instead of getting one for free from S3V. Residents and workers will again have to pay full rate. Now, for residents, that's going to mean there's going to be an awful lot of very pissed off locals, and I know there's nothing but as bad as a pissed off French resident, which again is probably why they haven't officially announced it yet. Then, of course, when it says for workers, previously, not only would workers get a discount, but they'd be allowed to pay for it in 2 installments, which, of course, would be very helpful if you have yet to be paid for your first month and you don't get hit by the full price of a lift pass. And you basically, through all of this, you're going to ask me, well, why are S3V all of a sudden doing this? And there are probably 2 reasons for this. And I'm going to try and be as diplomatic as possible. One of which is somebody said that Macron has come up with a new ruling that says you can't sell a product to 2 different people in 2 different locations at 2 different prices. That's what I've been told. Secondly, basically someone got a very large tax bill and they're having to pass this on now. Now, if you ask my opinion, and of course this will affect me, if you ask my opinion, I can think of a solution for this, and I have basically looked around at other ski resorts. It took me like 20 minutes to find a solution. And I don't know why S3V haven't found that solution, because, it's crazy. So at the moment, S3V haven't actually announced anything. And the longer they leave it, and of course this is like less than 2 months before the lifts open, the longer they leave it, the worse it's going to be when they finally do announce it. And you know, I know how much the French love to strike. Yeah, the sooner that S3V actually announce something, the better it is. It's going to be for everybody. And I think that's the best place to leave this little segment of the video. So this brings us to Journey's End. I'm back in the Croisette, and behind me, the new building at the bottom of the Stade, kindly donated by Mr. Ineos, and that is going to be ready in 2 months' time. Yeah, no, it will be ready. They've got to have it ready by December the 21st, which is when the women's giant slalom World Cup happens. I think exterior wise it's almost done. The interior needs a bit of work. I will hopefully be giving you a tour of that before the season starts as well. So there you go. And on that, if you've enjoyed this little update, you want to see more stuff throughout the winter, click the subscribe button down there, leave me a comment, click the like button, even share it if you want to annoy your friends. And on that, I will see you all in the next video. Ciao.